Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Class 8, we are doing chapter number 4, work and energy. And today we are going to study about energy. Now, what is energy? Whenever we do any work or any activity, we need energy. We cannot do any work without energy. So, what is energy? It is the capacity or ability of doing work. Whenever we are sick or weak, we are unable to do our work because we are having less energy. So the amount of energy possessed by an object is equal to the amount of work it can do when the energy is released. Whenever we do work, energy is released. So amount of energy possessed by an object is equal to the amount of work it can do when the energy is released. Now, what is work energy relationship? When we play any game or we do any work, we play cricket or badminton for a long time, or we do any work for a long time, we get tired. Why? This is because we have spent our energy in playing or in working. When we are playing or when we are working for a long time, we get exhausted, we get tired. The reason is that we have spent all our energy in doing that work or in playing. So we need energy to do work. Without energy, we cannot do any work. So they both are related to each other. To do more work, we need more energy. Thus, energy and work are correlated. When we want to do more work, we will need more energy. So they are correlated to each other. Energy must be supplied to an object so that it can do work. Now, when work is done on an object in changing its state means if it is at rest or it is moving. If we are changing the state of an object, the total amount of work done is equal to the energy possessed by the object. Like for example, when we move a stationary object, stationary means the object is at rest, and we move an object which is at rest, work is done on the object, and the moving object possesses energy equal to the work done on the object. So the moving object possesses the energy which is equal to the work done on the object. Similarly, when we lift an object to a certain height, we do work against the force of gravity, because force of gravity is vertically downwards. It acts vertically downwards. When we lift an object to a certain height, it means we are doing work against the force of gravity. So this work is equal to the energy possessed by the object at that height. Now, what are the units of energy? Since energy is the amount of work done by an object, therefore the unit of energy is same as that of work. Energy is equal to amount of work done. So, unit of energy and work are the same. The SI unit of energy is joule and its CGS unit is erg. Now, when an object possesses 1 joule of energy, it means the object has the capacity of doing 1 joule of work. Now we came to know what is energy. It is the ability or capacity to do work, and energy and work done, they are correlated to each other. We cannot do any work without energy. Now, and they have the same units. The units of work and energy are the same. Now, what are the forms of energy? Energy exists in different forms, and the main forms are mechanical energy, heat energy, light energy, chemical energy, sound energy, magnetic energy, electrical energy, and nuclear energy. Now, first we are going to discuss about mechanical energy. Now, what is mechanical energy? It is the energy possessed by an object due to its position or state of motion. Short form is ME, and this mechanical energy is of two types: kinetic energy KE and potential energy PE. And this mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. Now, what is mechanical energy? Let's see the examples. A moving car, an arrow on a stretched bow, an oscillating pendulum, and a moving ceiling fan, they all possess mechanical energy. And if an object is having either potential energy or kinetic energy or both the energies, we can say that it has mechanical energy, because kinetic energy and potential energy both are the forms of mechanical energy. Now let's see what is kinetic energy. Energy possessed by an object due to its motion is called kinetic energy. A moving object, it means when an object is moving, which type of energy is there? There is kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is the form of mechanical energy. It is usually denoted by Ke or Ek. Now examples are a freely falling stone, a car moving on the road, a ball rolling on the ground, a bullet fired from a gun, flowing water, and an oscillating pendulum. They all possess kinetic energy. So whenever any object is in motion or it is moving, it has kinetic energy. Moving object has kinetic energy, which is the form of mechanical energy. Now, if an object is at rest initially, then it is made to move. What is done there? Work is done on the object. It was at rest and we made it to move. We change the state of that object, so work is done on that object. When the object is in motion, it possesses kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of the object is equal to the work done on the object. The object was at rest in the beginning, and its state of rest was changed, and it was made to move. Now work was done on that object. So now this moving object has kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is equal to the work done on the object, work done on moving that object which was at rest initially. Now the factors affecting kinetic energy of a moving object. What are the factors that affect the kinetic energy of a moving object? Mass of the object, speed of the object. Now greater the mass of the object, more is its kinetic energy. So if mass is more, kinetic energy is more. Then greater the speed of the moving object, more is the kinetic energy. Again, if speed is more, kinetic energy is also more. Now expression for the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy of an object of mass m moving with velocity v is given by kinetic energy equals to half into mass into velocity square. Ke equals to half mv square. This is the expression for kinetic energy. Now, second form of mechanical energy is potential energy. What is potential energy? The energy possessed by an object due to its position or configuration, means shape or size, is called potential energy. Now, this is the second form of mechanical energy. It is the work done in bringing the object to that state or position. Now, let's go through one example. Water stored in a dam has potential energy. When anything is at rest, it has potential energy, and if it is moving, it has kinetic energy. So water stored in a dam has potential energy. This potential energy is equal to the work done in storing the water at a height in a dam. When the water is stored in the dam at a height, so this is potential energy, which is equal to the work done in storing the water at a height in a dam. Similarly, a compressed spring possesses potential energy that is equal to the work done in compressing the spring. When we compress a spring, energy is stored there, that is potential energy, and it is equal to the work done in compressing the spring. Similarly, if we stretch a rubber band, it has energy which is potential energy, and this potential energy is equal to the work done in stretching that rubber band. So mechanical energy has two kinds. One is kinetic energy, which is due to the motion of the object, and another is potential energy, which is due to the position or configuration of the object. Now potential energy is of two types. One is elastic potential energy. Now what is elastic potential energy? The energy possessed by an object when it is stretched, compressed or bent is called elastic potential energy. Now if we stretch a rubber band or we compress a spring, which type of energy is stored there? Elastic potential energy is stored there. Let's go through some more examples. A stretched rubber sling of a catapult and a stretched bow possess elastic potential energy. Now, when we stretch the rubber sling of a catapult, what we do? We do some work in stretching. So this work done gets stored in the rubber sling in the form of its elastic potential energy. Now this is the rubber sling of a catapult. It is being stretched. Now when it is stretched, what is stored there? Which type of energy is stored there? Elastic potential energy is stored there in stretching, and it is equal to the work done in stretching this sling. Second type of potential energy is gravitational potential energy. First was elastic potential energy, second is gravitational potential energy. Now what is gravitational potential energy? It is the energy possessed by an object due to its position above the ground. So a raised hammer has gravitational potential energy, and it possesses this energy because of its position at a height. Now this is the raised hammer. So it has gravitational potential energy because it is at a height and it is doing work against the force of gravity. So it is raised. So when this hammer is struck on a nail, it drives the nail into the wood due to gravitational potential energy which is stored inside this raised hammer. Other examples are water stored at a height in a dam and stone on a high hill. They all possess gravitational potential energy. When any object is raised, when any object is at height, it possesses gravitational potential energy. When it is raised, when it is at a height, then which type of energy does it have? It possesses gravitational potential energy. And when anything is stretched or compressed or bent, then which type of potential energy is stored in that object? Elastic potential energy. So now the two forms of potential energy are elastic potential energy and gravitational potential energy. And what is potential energy? It is the energy possessed by an object due to its position or configuration. Now potential energy is of two types. Elastic potential energy, when anything is stretched or compressed or bent, then it has elastic potential energy, and if anything is raised to a certain height, then it possesses gravitational potential energy. Let's see the expression for the gravitational potential energy. When an object is taken from the ground to a height, when any object is taken to a certain height, work is done on the object against the force of gravity. Whenever any object is raised to a certain height, work is done against the force of gravity. This work done is stored in the object in the form of gravitational potential energy. Let the object of mass m be raised to a height h above the ground. The minimum force required to lift the object is equal to the force of gravity on the object acting vertically downwards. We know that force of gravity it acts vertically downwards. So let the mass of the object be m, and it is raised to a height, say h, above the ground. So and the minimum force applied on the object in lifting it up is equal to the force of gravity on the object which is acting vertically downwards. We know that force of gravity acts vertically downwards. So this force of gravity is G. When G is the force of gravity on an object of mass 1 kg, the force of gravity on the object of mass m kg will be F equals to m into G. Mass into gravity, F equals to mg. Then distance moved, the height means the height equals to h. Then work done equals to F into D. Then we know that F equals to mg. So work done equals to m. For F we will write m into g, and for D we will write h. Distance is the height h. So work done equals to mgh. Work done equals to potential energy PE. So potential energy PE equals to mgh. Now what do we conclude? We conclude that gravitational potential energy depends upon which factors? Upon mass of the object and height at which the object is placed. It depends upon the mass of the object and height at which the object is placed.